Namaste. Welcome to my channel, The Harmony of Eternal Wisdom. Today we'll talk about a very interesting topic. Is desire wrong? Is desiring wrong? Because many times our scriptures talk about desire and then how it binds a person. And generally the opinion is that desire is wrong. But that's not true. Desire is the Ichha Shakti of Bhagwan, Ishvara. And Bhagwan presents in all of us as that very Ichha Shakti, the capacity to desire. That's a glory. That's a glory of Ishvara which we have. We have the capacity to desire. The desire to be happy, the desire to do something good for ourselves and for others, the desire to live happily. Now, where is the problem then? If desire is that which is given by, which is actually we are born with. A small child desires for milk, desires for security, desires for love, without knowing what it wants. It's a very natural emotion of every living being, actually. Now, what we have to understand very clearly is that desire by itself is not wrong. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself says in one of the chapters, Dharma aviruddho kama aham asmi. I am the desire which is in keeping with dharma, in keeping with the ethical values of the society. Now, what is meant by dharma? It's a very different session we may take. Dharma basically means for the good of everybody. If our desire is something which is not only good for me, but good for others also. In achieving that desire, I not only benefit myself, but benefit others also. That is the desire. And that kind of desire is what Bhagwan has manifested as Ichha Shakti in all of us. There are three Shaktis which Bhagwan has endowed us with. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti. Ichha Shakti is the capacity to desire for something. Jnana Shakti is the capacity to think over it and bring it into action. Kriya Shakti is that action which we do to bring about this happiness. So Bhagwan says, I manifest as the desire. Didn't Bhagwan himself have desire that Arjuna should understand what he talked about? Did Krishna not have that desire? In the battlefield, when he spoke for 18 chapters, 700 verses, what was it meant for? It was ultimately meant for Arjuna to understand and benefit from this. That was Krishna's desire. To establish dharma in the society, it was Krishna's desire. And when the war was imminent and the war was something that could not be avoided, it was Krishna's desire that let the war take place so that at least dharma is established. When Lord Krishna says in the 4th chapter, Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya, sambhavami yuge yuge. What does he mean? His desire is to protect the dharmis and protect the dharma. His desire is to see that adharma is to whatever extent put aside. And for the protection of those who are in dharma, to protect them. That was Bhagwan's desire. And he said, I came here, I took my avatara for that particular sake. And whenever dharma is in peril, whenever the dharmic individuals are in trouble, I'm going to come back again and again and again in this. It's his desire. It's Lord's desire. In a Upanishad, it is said that when Ishvara was alone in Pralaya, after Pralaya, when nothing else was there, Ishvara desired, so kamayata bahusyam praja yeyeti. It was the desire of Parameshvara, Ishvara, Lord Vishnu. He felt that now is the time for the universe to be created. That was a desire. That was a sattvic desire. There was nothing wrong in desiring. If there is a desire which I can fulfill dharmically, without causing any problems to anybody, without giving any trouble to anybody, and if I can fulfill a small dream of mine without troubling anybody, what's wrong in it? Our scriptures are not asking us to suppress our desires. When this desire becomes so out of control that it starts hurting the other people and hurting me also, then it becomes a binding desire. Therefore, our scriptures talk about two things, kama and raga. Both may mean the same. Superficially, they may mean the same. Kama is the desire where I want to fulfill myself without troubling anybody. But when that kama, when that desire becomes so much, it becomes so strong that I cannot live without it, then that becomes a binding desire. And when the desire becomes binding, then there is a possibility that I may go against dharma. I may try to put away everything that is on my way in fulfilling my desire. I may harm those people and climb over others' shoulders to fulfill my desire. Therefore, Lord Krishna in Gita talks about a sattvic kama, a rajasic kama, and tamasic kama also. Now that we have talked about the two aspects of kama or desire, that is the kama and the raga. Raga, what is it? What is raga? How is raga different from kama? And why is it that Bhagavad Gita is all the time talking about diluting the raga rather than kama? So what is this raga? In the next session, we'll talk about the more virulent variety of kama, which we call as raga. What is raga? How it manifests, and when it is not fulfilled, what happens? Let's talk about that particular thing. We'll talk about raga in our next session. Welcome you. I hope you'll join me in that session. Namaste.